What's up, guys? Welcome to my Games of the Year 2017 countdown podcast thing. I have it scripted out for what I'm going to be referring to for each of the games, but as for what I'm going to say about them, it's off the handle, off the books. We're just going off of what I'm feeling right now, so there may be a bit of word salad, a bit of stuttering. Who cares about that? 2017 has been a totally righteous year for games, to a point where I honestly had a very hard time, number one, cutting it down to 10. That was difficult, but then I said I'm not even gonna care about attempting to, order them for everything. Because 2017 has been such a diverse year for games, it's been such an interesting one, that honestly, aside from maybe my top pick, I'm gonna say take the ordering of this list with a grain of salt and instead look at it as a list of 10 of the best games of the year, because honestly, it's to a point where I couldn't order them. They were so good. And in fact, I'm going to actually do a bit of a cop-out with number 10 even, because, okay, number 10 on my list of top 10 games of 2017 is fighting games in general. And I didn't want to fill up my list with fighting games. I love fighting games, you know that. But as such, I decided, okay, for number 10, we're going to go with just fighting games in general. That way, everything gets a little bit of love from the ongoing love of Street Fighter V, which I do really enjoy, and I know some people really hate it, but everything about Season 2 was awesome. Abigail is my favorite child ever. I love my Canadian truck boy. I've been loving it. They keep putting out new stuff for it, and right away we're getting arcade edition. So I know some people say that's 2016 release, you can't say that, but because it's an ongoing game, no, I still kind of treat it as a 2017 game. But they got stuff like Tekken 7, which even my non-fighting game friends will ask to put it in play because it's so cool, and it got Geese and it's getting Noctis. That's a lot of cool stuff. I know a lot of people don't like Marvel vs. Capcom. I love the gameplay of Infinite, and in fact, I'm really looking forward to seeing what more content they have in the future with that, because there's a lot going on there that makes it one of the most fun fighting games I've played in a long time. And there's a whole bunch I'm not even able to bring up right now, because there's just been so many, and fighting games for this year have been awesome. And as such, number 10 slot goes to all those wonderful fighting games, which rocked for 2017 and will continue to rock in 2018, with a few notable releases coming up very fast. Alright, so for number 9, we got a game I did a Let's Play for. I would highly recommend you watch it, because it was really good. There's a couple Let's Plays on this list. If they're in there, I'll let you know, but this is a Hatton Time. Now remember, the order of the list isn't exactly where I put it, because I'd say it beats out a game I'm going to talk about a bit later, but regardless, Hatton Time was the first, Kickstarter game, aside from, Skullgirls, but that doesn't really count because that was just for more content, where I was totally blown away by what was given to me, that I 100% do not regret backing, like some games, mighty number 9, but I was just blown away by how perfect it felt. I played the alphas, I played the betas, and even still, after knowing almost a third of the game front to back from playing it over and over in those forms, I was amazed at how great it turned out. And even on console, which I haven't, I played it through on PC and then I got my console code later, I just booted up on console and I'm this is the exact same, it's perfect. But the big difference is I'm actually happy I got it on PC as well, because the game with the full modding support, there's going to be levels created forever. They did what one of my favorite things with video games were make a perfect system and then give it to people to play around with. Creating literally endless amounts of content. So, even if I was a little disappointed at the length of it at first, but then A, there's going to be more DLC worlds coming free, which is going to be great, but then B, with the amount of just extra levels people are making at every moment of time, and I tried to get into level making, it wasn't easy, so I decided, you know what, no, I'm going to let them make the levels, and then I will play them. And it's a game that will continue to grow and will continue to be awesome forever. And I'm really excited for that. So yeah, Hatton Time, definitely up there. Go watch the Let's Play if you haven't. It's really good. Coming in at number 8, we have Nier Automata. Now, this game is interesting in the fact that, like, I have very little attachment to the original Nier. I bought it for $3 at EB Games, but I haven't really played it. I instead just watched the best friend's playthrough when it was first put out. And when I first watched it, I'm like, this is an interesting game, and I was really into the story and stuff. And then as soon as Nier Automata was coming out, I'm like, okay, I'm going to play this myself. And I played through the first story, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's good, the first ending. And then, you know, I of course, at this point, knew that wasn't the end. So I thought, got it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I did about a little over half of the second story. And at first I was like, this is good, but I don't know if it's as Game of the Year worthy as some people are putting it. I mean, I was really enjoying it, and the story and characters were wonderful, and the music was awesome, and the gameplay was pretty good, and I was like, it was pretty good, but I don't know if it's as good as some people say. And then, you know, about quite a bit later in the year, someone told me, like, the ending was so profound, it changed the way they looked at the world. And I'm like, what? And I heard a lot of stuff about the ending E and how amazing it is. And I was like, so I eventually said, and I thankfully did not have it spoiled for me in any way whatsoever, which is a blessing, because I think the Nier community knows the best part is discovering it for yourself. So all I'm going to say is, yes, ending E is potentially one of the greatest things in video games ever. It made me tear up and cry. My sister said she's never going to play the game, but she really enjoys the characters, but she doesn't have time or nor the physical ability to really play it. So she just told me, hey, can you just tell me what the ending's about? And I told her the ending, every piece of it, played her the music, and she herself cried at how beautiful it was. All I'm gonna say is please give Nier Automata some time, because the final ending is the most amazing thing in a video game I've ever played. That might be overhyping it a bit, and I apologize, because I could very easily see some more gamery types saying, well, what's this, whatever. But from a general video game standpoint, what it does is so amazing, and I really wish more people knew about it and then kept that as a secret themselves, you know? I really, really, really do recommend you look at this game. You do not need the knowledge of the first Nier, but I would really recommend at least watching Dr. Klemp's video, or is it Mr. Klemp's? Mr. Klemp's, sorry, I apologize. Mr. Klemp's video on the analysis of the first game's story, or the best friend's playthrough, because it is just something special. So please look at this game. I am just thinking about it now and wanting to cry. Numero 7, we got Xenoblade 2, a bit of a newer game on the list, and probably one of the only ones on here that, actually, yeah, the only one on here that I've not beat yet, but I'm really enjoying my time with it. I didn't do a video on it on my channel, but if you go over to Hellfire Commentaries, Tom and I did a quick look at the entire prologue of the game, leading up to the super amazingly anime conclusion, and that's what it comes down for me on why I prefer Xenoblade 2 over Xenoblade 1. I know some people say Xenoblade 1 is, like, you know, better written and tighter story and has less problematic content, shall we say, but honestly, everything about Xenoblade 2 is just more fun to me. The characters are more fun. I love Rex. I know people, they hear his voice and they're like, oh, immediately dismiss him as a bad character, but no, Rex is awesome. And I mean, you can make obvious jokes about Pyra, but she's a great character too, and the relationship between them is so interesting. The world's relationship between Blades and humans is such an interesting concept, because it seems pretty cut and dry to begin with, but then you start to see so many shades of gray, and it's such an interesting world and characters, and most of all, it's fun. It's a fun RPG, and it's on a portable console. What? On also a TV. but mostly portable because I very rarely plug in my Switch except to charge it. I really like this game. I know some people don't, and you know what? That's fine. Opinions are cool. But at the same time, my opinion is valid that I think this is the best Xenoblade game. From the music being some of the crispest, cleanest, and best of the series, which is saying a lot for Xenoblade, and just being a step up in terms of production value in my eyes. From how it looks, how everything works. I love it. Please play this game. Don't sleep on it. At least give it a try. You might, if you're a fan of anime, you'll like it. Because it goes places I never expected. For better or for worse in some cases. If you don't like tropey stuff, maybe you might not like it. But I love tropey garbage, you know? So that's just where I'm at with that. Alright, number 6, we have Sonic Mania. Oh my god. I guess full disclosure, I know some of the people working on this game. I didn't know they were working on it until they accidentally let it slip. And then I kind of was like, what? And then when the game fully came out, and I'm like, oh my god, I know these people. But that's not influencing this at all. Sonic Mania is really good. It reminds me of Shovel Knight, where they said, okay, let's make a game that's kind of retro-y, but at the same time, not constrain ourselves to it, and, you know, use modern conveniences to make it better. Sonic Mania is by and large the best Sonic game to come out in years. It is 100% the best Sonic game to come out in 2017. It is also cheaper and longer than any Sonic game coming out in 2017. Oh, we'll talk about the other one in a bit. But Sonic Mania is great. I think it's a mandatory purchase for anyone who has enjoyed Sonic as a child. Even with the reused zones and like some stuff where you're like, oh yeah, you know, it's kind of expected that. You know what? That's fine. Again, it uses tropes to its advantage to be one of the most fun games of 2017. It's on the top 10 list for a reason. I have no idea how it did not win any awards. Sonic Mania is really good. Did a full Let's Play on it? Go watch it. Every Let's Play I talk about will be linked in the video when I talk about them. And coming in at number 5 is a game I could not legally Let's Play because I fear Atlas, is Persona 5. Now, full disclosure on the fact that I do believe Persona 4, in terms of just everything it presented, story and character-wise, I felt like 4 was a tighter entry than 5. That said, 4 is a god-tier game, but that does not mean Persona 5 is not a, like, you know, demigod, demi-fiend tier game. It was really good. The gameplay is 100% the best Persona gameplay ever. All the systems they added are so good. The way that you can upgrade your characters through the social links or now confidants is great. I played through and beat it a little slower than some people. It took me a couple months, but honestly, it's just such a good game. The music is awesome. The characters, even though, again, I don't think they're as good as some of the ones in Persona 4, I'd say there's less. Like, Persona 4 has high highs and low lows. Persona 5, pretty much everyone is enjoyable. There's no Riseis or Yukikos, if you catch my drift. But pretty much, like, it was a great voyage, and a little bit of a personal one for me in the fact that I introduced my friend to the Persona series through this game, and just watching him discover it for himself while I was playing it myself was just, it was such an amazing experience. And so it's a bit more of a personal one, but like, honestly, when I was watching the Game Awards with said friend, and they started to play Persona 5 music live on the stage, like, I almost started tearing up, because I'm like, oh my god, you know, what a great, because just hearing it and looking at it, looking at the UI just gets me happy and excited. So, Persona 5 is really good. There's people I feel have weird complaints about the game with the writing, and I'm like, I don't have any problems with the writing at all. There was nothing said in game that bothered me when I read it. And like, I see people breaking down and analyzing how this game is a localization train wreck, and I'm like, no, because it's written how people speak and not how books are written, if that makes sense. Like, it's very much localized to the kids speak like kids, and I like that. But that's neither here nor there. My opinions on localization are greatly different than some other people's, so Persona 5, you rock though, for sure. Number 4, again, coming around to, this is not 100% in order, but yeah, Fire Emblem Warriors. I love me some Warrior games, and Fire Emblem Warriors, I literally just put down the game to stop from playing. Gameplay-wise, it's just slightly under One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 for how good it feels, but I think the best part about this game is just the amount of stuff that they took from Hyrule Warriors, which I really enjoyed, and then just said, let's fix it. You know, things such as the progression in the adventure mode, history mode there, is so much more better done than in Hyrule Warriors. The way getting S ranks is done is better. Unlocking new content is better. The amount of levels given to in DLC is actually doable, unlike Hyrule Warriors. My only disappointment with it is the fact that every Archer-type character plays the exact same, and there's a few notable classes that are missing, as well as characters. Like, I'm as shocked as everyone Ike's not in, but they did say, look, if we want to put in characters from these other games, we'd rather put in a big push of a bunch of them and have them be in the story than, you know, have them just kind of there. And I'm okay with that. But honestly, like, it's just a really fun game to pick up and play. And again, portably. Now, mind you, Fire Emblem Warriors did come out on 3DS, but I've never ever seen that game. Ever. I honestly don't really believe it exists. Like, it's kind of a cryptid, but the fact that it's a Warriors game that I can just pick up and play anywhere on a portable system that looks exactly the same as an HD one blows my mind. And it's so good. Actually, speaking of One Piece Pirate Warriors 3, I think in Japan they're getting a deluxe edition for the Switch, and if that comes to the West, wow, that's a really good thing. I would highly recommend getting that. It might, considering it's all done. But yeah, no, whew. Like, I love me Warriors games, and there's gonna be a bunch more in 2018, so I'm looking forward to all the future content in Fire Emblem Warriors and future Warriors games on the system as well. Coming in at number 3, we have Super Mario Odyssey. Now, again, as I said, the list isn't 100% in order. I actually do think that in many cases, Hatton Time surpasses Super Mario Odyssey. I truly believe that. Now, that said, Mario Odyssey is still just what is there to say that hasn't been said about it? Like, other than the fact that I'm not going to spoil what it is, but just heads up, mild spoilers. The ending of the game does exactly what my favorite endings of everything do, involving battles in space to lyrical music that causes, like, crazy re-entry stuff at the end. Mario Odyssey's ending was like a religious experience for me, and I would love to be there to experience it again. It reminds me of, like, Bayonetta, which is weird to say about Mario, but like, honestly, I pretty much marathoned Super Mario Odyssey in 2 days. I ran through it, and I really ran through it fast. I'm like, I want to do this fast and just see everything, and I know that's not the way some people like to do it, but I love that. I really felt like all these people online are always like, yeah, I stayed in the world and collected all the moons before I went on. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You have to go save Princess Peach. And, like, for me, when I played it, I tried to almost, it sounds horrible, but roleplay Mario and, like, be like, let's do this as fast as possible. We gotta save her. And, like, it felt so cool to then get there, get to the conclusion, and, like, oh, it was so good. Super Mario Odyssey is really good, and I have a lot to go back to now one day. I feel like I put it down for now, but the game is so good with the amount of objectives and the amount of stuff in it that, I mean, it's a sequel to Super Mario Sunshine in 64. It's what I've always really wanted. I like Galaxy, but I don't like what Galaxy did to Mario by making it linear again. It's so good. Nothing else has to be said. If you have a Switch, this is a mandatory game to get. Speaking of mandatory Switch games to get, we have at number 2 Breath of the Wild. Now, this game, I would argue which game is actually better, Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild. They are very different beasts, though they are cut from the same cloth, in which they take the ideas of the predecessors, kind of flip them on their head and do just very wildly different stuff. But one of the coolest parts about when Breath of the Wild first came out was that all of my friends kind of participated in almost like a massively multiplayer single player game experience where we would actually all play together, and we had this whole open world, and we would talk about things we discovered and things that happened to us, and it became like this hugely social experience. And that's when I hear people say Breath of the Wild is a single player only game. I honestly have to disagree. It is pretty much in the way that experiences are talked about, in the way that real life treasure is sort of, well, not real life treasure, but treasure in game is sort of rumored about in real life. I would say when this game first came out, it was such an interesting experience to see. And altogether, everything about it was just fun. It's my favorite Zelda game, although some people say it shouldn't count because it's not, by definition, a Zelda game, but just having it break through the barrier of what is Zelda was so nice. I mean, the previous big game that we got was Link Between Worlds, which was very, very Zelda formula. It did some things to break it, but nothing too huge, and I do feel like that game was the best example of the Zelda formula, because from start to finish, I really enjoyed it a lot. It was my favorite Zelda game before. But this game, in the way everything was presented and the way everything happened in it, it was a beautiful experience, and I do feel if you have a Wii U or a Switch, I would say definitely get the Switch version if you can, because again, playing this portably is something amazing. But if you only have a Wii U, it's still a great game. I think they use the Wii U version for speedruns, actually, because the textures are lowered slightly, so it loads faster. But everything about it is just wonderful. It marked the change in Nintendo's sort of philosophy with games, I feel, as well. Every game that's come out by Nintendo so far has been this super quality experience that really subverts ideas and is really showing the second coming of like the new generation of Nintendo developers. You don't feel that Wii U style disappointment. I remember there was a lot of games on the Wii U that I was like, I'm pretty disappointed in how this turned out. Mario Party, Animal Crossing, all these different things. I felt this like, is Nintendo dead feeling? But everything about that Breath of the Wild started, and of course, due to its success, was brought back for other games. It really changed the way that Nintendo is obviously going to be making their games, and everything about it is just wonderful. Even the fact that the DLC is like good is mind-blowing. It's amazing. DLC in a Zelda game that extends the experience and makes it harder but gives you more cool stuff. Link gets a motorcycle. Oh my god, Breath of the Wild is awesome. And even though I believe Mario Odyssey is better, I do believe that the legacy Breath of the Wild will leave is much stronger for both the Zelda franchise and Nintendo as a whole. And as for my number one game, this one is my number one game of the year. In terms of games that totally shocked me, in terms of what it was, is Spark the Electric Jester. Only for PC over on Steam. This game is pretty much someone saying, hey, I made a bunch of Sonic fan games. I'm gonna make my own character and make my own game where I can do anything I want. And boy, oh boy, did this one guy do some amazing stuff. Aside from the music, it's made by one guy. Lake Freppard is a god when it comes to game design, honestly. This game looks like a simple little Sonic or a bit of Kirby clone. It's kind of like, imagine a Sonic game with the power copying of Kirby, and, you know, that sounds just like really fun. It's really good, but the word that comes to mind when I think of this game is escalation. And that's one of my favorite words to think about in games. I do not want to spoil anything, but much like Mario Odyssey, this game's finale does stuff that is so hype, I want to cry. Please watch my Let's Play of it to understand why it's my game of the year, because that conclusion, as well as the entire second campaign. By the way, there's a whole Virgil-style second campaign, which I love in games. The best way to put this game is, it is like what if Platinum Games made a 2D classic Sonic game. And he's actually now making a sequel, which is a 3D action game in the style of a Platinum Games, character action game. Which, oh my god, I'm so excited for that. But Lake Freppard and Spark the Electric Jester blew my mind for what I put in money for them. I put in just a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I'll contribute to the Indiegogo for that. It wasn't a Kickstarter. Or wait, no, it was a Kickstarter. Dang, I was super wrong. But it completely shattered my expectations. This is a game that I really say, if you are a fan of Sonic, Kirby, Bayonetta, character action games, high-speed action, please pick this up. It is so good. And the music's all amazing. It's done by the same teams who worked on Sonic Before the Sequel and Sonic After the Sequel, the two Sonic fan games that were so good musically that Jun Senoi is like, you get my blessing for the soundtracks. That says something. No, this is my game of the year. It blew my expectations entirely out. Please watch my Let's Play. Please buy the game. Support Lake. This is one dude making some of the best games ever. Please. Spark the Electric Jester is my 2017 Game of the Year. And now onto a few extra categories for things that, I wanted to still get out there, but at the same time, wouldn't really fit in a top 10 list. So, number one, if you couldn't tell already, my choice for best hardware for 2017 is easily the Switch. Oh my god, this console is the best because it's literally what I want. I've always wanted, rather. It's a portable system in my eyes. It's a portable system that you can plug in to do Let's Plays on. That's pretty much what it is for me. I am not a person to like to use the TV. In fact, I'm actually a really bad gamer in which I will usually play a game on a handheld system and then on the TV throw up a Let's Play, throw up a movie, throw on a TV show, something just in the background, right? Because for me as a kid, a lot of my memories come from playing a game and watching a TV show or movie or something, and then the connection between them. So with the Switch, I can just play all those games, but at the same time, watch something portably. And I guess you could have done the same with the Wii U. But at the same time, I actually used the Wii U on my TV. I did not like the gamepad. The Switch is just the Wii U fixed. And with some of the best games ever out on it and coming out on it, looking at you, Bayonetta 1 and 2. Oh my god, it's coming out. And Bayonetta 3. Okay, we'll get to that later. It is such a good system. A must for anybody who likes video games. I know some people say, oh, but it doesn't have as much power as my PS4 Pro. But it is just, the fact that it's portable means so much to me, someone who's always going places, and I really, really love this system. The controllers are awesome, both the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller. Everything about it is so good. I love my Switch. Best hardware, easily. And I mean, look at all the games on this list that are only on the Switch. Like, wow. It did what the Vita didn't. Had good games. So another category that I do like to talk about is my idea of a rediscovered classic, a game that I played for the first time in 2017, or beat, and has sort of like discovered it and understand it. So I have a bucket list of games that I'm still running through. Symphony of the Night was on there, the Danganronpa games I'm still running through. But for me, my rediscovered classic is actually Final Fantasy VII, because I finally beat it, and I think I through playing it and beating it, I 100% understand why people hold it in such high regard. Now, mind you, I think some of it is exaggerated. The story is not that good. The characters, on the other hand, are amazing, and the vignettes that the characters go through are great. I love the characters, and I'm fully excited for the remake. And I will keep saying that the remake is real, despite some people getting mad at me thinking that the remake is real when, but that's just Square Enix lying. It's like, no, shut up. Even if it's not, let me dream forever. Because Final Fantasy VII, I understand why people love it so much, and it does deserve the praise that it gets. It is a comfy game to me. Even playing it through the first time, I felt this level of comfort and warmth in it that reminded me of why I love video games, and I'm so happy that I have rediscovered why Final Fantasy... Well, discovered, really, but, discovered for the first time in a long time why it is such a classic. And speaking of Final Fantasy, for the best ongoing game, we have Final Fantasy 15 for me. The DLC that Final Fantasy 15 has been putting out is mind-blowing in the fact that how much it changes the game. To a point where I'm really looking forward to, once everything's said and done, replaying Final Fantasy 15 in New Game Plus mode and playing a whole different game, pretty much. I know a lot of people have said that this should have been there to begin with, but I don't have a problem with the idea of taking a game and iterating it till it's better, until you're like, no, this is it, and releasing it. I know some people say it's scummy because you're releasing an incomplete game, but honestly, I just feel like the way it was handled is, I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 15 playing it through the first time, and it just feels like there's more. And that makes me really happy. And the characters are the best Final Fantasy characters. There's no denying. These characters feel like real people. And the idea of the road trip feels like a real road trip. And I loved it. And much like Persona 5, I'm experiencing it through my friend who never played Japanese games really ever. And when I introduced it to him, he's like, what have I missed? How come these games are so good and no one plays them? And I'm like, you're not looking in the right place, dude, And so, a bit of it is, again, personal experience with introducing it to a friend and showing them this whole new world and, playing it with him. And it was so great. And again, this idea of, with the open world, talking about finding stuff and looking for secrets, like as if I was in the game. It was wonderful, and I'm still enjoying it, and still going to enjoy it as more DLC is confirmed to be coming out, with episode Arden coming, where you get to play as the villain. Oh my god, what? I'm excited. Final Fantasy 15 is really worth it. If you can get the regular game plus the season pass, you are getting such a huge thing nowadays. I really would say give it a look if you have not played it yet. It is so good. And on the other hand, we have my biggest disappointment of 2017, which is Sonic Forces. Wow, that is not a video game. I'm just shocked at how there's people who defend this. It is shorter than Sonic Mania. It is slower than Sonic Mania. It is... Even the only good part is the avatar system, which I unironically enjoy. Character creators, character customization, I love all that. But wow, this game sucked. And I can't even... I've seen people say, oh, it's because you're playing the Switch version, which is 30 frames per second. No, 60 FPS would not fix this game. The music isn't even that good. And I mean, the lyrical stuff is good, but the in-game music is not the best. You screwed up on the one thing Sonic games, even the bad ones, have. It's such a nothing game that I'm sure in 2 years, I will forget entirely. It's not even on my shelf anymore. I put it into the I don't need to look at this on my shelf bin, because it's not a game. I don't even need to finish that sentence. It's not a game. It's a demo. It's an extended demo. Please, instead of buying Sonic Mania, buy instead of buying Sonic Forces, buy 2 copies of Sonic Mania. It was that bad. Sonic Team, stop and just give everything to Pagoda West and Christian Whitehead. They get it. It's very clear you don't. I grew up with Sonic Adventure 2. Let's put modern Sonic down. Please. Okay. On the other hand, Sega did have some really good hits this year, including my best multiplayer title, which is not a fighting game, Puyo Tetris. Holy crap! You want to talk about a game that you can whip out at a party and like everyone can play and enjoy? Puyo Tetris is, number one, a game that I'm shocked we got in the West. I mean, legally we should not have. Sega had to go through some crazy legal hoops to get it out, but putting that on the Switch and just being able to boot it up and play the best versions of Puyo Pop and Tetris anywhere is amazing. 2017 rocked for puzzle games with all the games on the Switch, but Puyo Tetris is king. And the best part is, you don't even need to buy the game to really play it. They released a demo of Puyo Tetris on the eShop for the Switch, and it is literally the full game of Puyo Pop and the full game of Tetris for free multiplayer. What? You are given so much with that. You know, just being able to play free multiplayer Tetris on your Switch. Like, holy crap, Puyo Tetris is so good. Again, I'd say it's a must-have for the Switch. Now, my friend didn't have a Switch. I bought it for him for the PS4, and he still enjoyed it. It's like, but as a Switch game, it is so good. We have had Puyo parties where we bring over all the friends. We all play Puyo Tetris, and the salt becomes so thick. It's so great. It reminds me of the good old days. And I'm just so happy that, you know, local multiplayer is super not dead, thanks to Nintendo. I honestly feel if Nintendo was out of the console market, they wouldn't sell extra controllers. You'd have to buy a whole other console because everything is now single player or online only. Nintendo is killing it with multiplayer, and that to me is multiplayer. I don't love online. Now there is online in that, which is cool, but no, the fact that it's like just this super fun multiplayer local thing. You can have parties with it. You can, with handicaps, you can make it easier or harder for different people. There's the party mode in that, which I love. There's the mixed mode, which I love. You know, it's like, it's so good. Puyo Tetris is a really good game that everyone should play, in my opinion, for multiplayer. So that's all my stuff for 2017, but what about 2018? Well, we're gonna have to wait, not very long for some good games, because my most anticipated game of 2018 is coming out kind of right away, and I'm so excited. It's Monster Hunter World. I know there's Dragon Ball, I know there's Digimon, I know there's Final Fantasy, City of Final Fantasy, all releasing right together, and even Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. But out of all of those, Monster Hunter World, having played the demo, you know, it's like, because it's like when I first saw it, I'm like, this looks great. This looks like Monster Hunter. But now having played the demo and everything, I've realized that this isn't Monster Hunter. This is the true evolution of Monster Hunter. And it looks good. And you have a real controller to play as a gunner, which is, oh my god. It's so good. I'm so excited that Monster Hunter is finally being given to the West in a way where everyone's complaints are kind of gone. It no longer looks like a PS2 game. It's no longer on an underpowered or portable system. You have a normal controller to play it with. And I'm just so excited to get back in and get my friends back in to realize how awesome of a series it is. I'm so excited. And it's not far away. It's like 25 days away. But all those other games I listed, I'm still excited for. And there's other games like Invisible and all that stuff I'm really excited for 2018. But out of all of them, I lie awake at night wanting Monster Hunter World. I really do. It looks so good. If you've never played a Monster Hunter game, jump in on this one. This is the best one to start with. Bar none. 100%. If you have to wait for the PC version, wait. If you have to get the Xbox One version, Well, wait for the PC version. Because Xbox One is a stupid console. But, regardless, if you have a PS4, get this game. Monster Hunter is literally the most addictive, most crack cocaine-esque video game of all time. I love it so much. I hope to see you online. Join my clan when it's up. I'll be doing a video on my clan and telling you where to join. They have 50-person clans, and you can hunt with them. So if I'm online, you'll be able to join my clan, and we'll be able to hunt online together. I'll probably be a gunner, because I'm really loving playing heavy bowgun in the beta. It was so good. So look forward to that, guys. Monster Hunter World's gonna be so good. 2018, I feel like, I don't know if it can surpass 2017, but it's off to a good start for sure. So, thank you all for listening to my podcast talk thing on my top games of 2017 and a few 2018 ones. And we'll hopefully see you all in the new year, where things will hopefully be just as fun with all these new games coming out. And oh god, I'm gonna have so much money ripped out of my wallet for January, but that's fine. So we'll see you all later, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Ciao.